So how do I know if it's the right time, right? Because I know back at that stage, you're overworked. Like,
yeah,
there's no doubt about that. You're doing 18 different things. You don't have the staff to delegate to, is it the right time or not?
Yeah. I usually say like, you need to focus on it. I'm a proponent of if you're going to do it, you got to go do it. Like, out of sight, out of mind. The opposite. What would the opposite of that be? Like, if you focus on it, it's going to happen. Like, you got to live in it. I'm going to talk out of the other side of my mouth for a second. If your house isn't in order, if production isn't dialed, if art isn't there, if fulfillment isn't, like, if you don't have systems, processes, and the back end of your shop dialed in, it's going to be pretty hard to focus on sales and focus on driving revenue. So you're right. They're stretched thin. They're doing a bunch of different jobs, but putting systems, process, automation, all of that in place and getting the back end of the shop in order is going to allow them, I think, to step into more focus on proactive, outbound, focus on like revenue generation and growth.
Got it. So it sounds like get production as much of a process as possible to start to free up time to focus more on front office types of things.
I think so. And then like, look at your calendar, look at how you're spending your day, like analyze what you do all day, every day. Is it customer service? Is it working with your team members? I work out of a calendar. If it's not in my calendar, I don't do it. Mm-hmm. So like, if that's the way that the shop performs well, calendar growth, just put 2-hour block every day that the team knows that you're focused on growing revenue and focused on this side of the business, not looking at emails, not communicating with the team, not training, not bagging, tagging, folding, like focusing on growth. I think that's really the only way that
that's a good point.
Step out of it.
And I'd actually challenge everyone to do that. The first thing of the day is the block on the calendar. If it's on the sales thing or whatever the most important thing is that's the first thing when you walk in. Because I swear, if I open my laptop and I open Gmail, and I'm starting to go through it, it's going to be 2 hours. I don't know what happened, in Slacks and everything else.
Totally. Working in this industry for long enough, I've now tweaked my schedule to focus the majority of my shop direct work in the morning, because I know how chaotic the life can be. And the likelihood of a 3 or 4 p.m. call with a print shop and me running, super low.
Yeah.
It like focus it on the morning, focus that first thing.
Can I show you something that's been helping me? We're getting into like productivity stuff, but this I put on my phone so you can tell Siri to start a timer. So I've been doing kind of like the calendar blocks, but I'll do a timer. So I've got my task list. First thing I open it up, and if it's like, okay, call and deal with this insurance thing, great. 15 minutes. I started it. I started on my phone as a timer, and now with the new iPhone OS, you can turn it sideways, and it's supposed to be, but anyway, you turn it sideways and you sit it on your desk, and basically what it does is it flips into a like an alarm mode, and then you see a timer and it fills up on the screen. I wish I could turn it on, but it doesn't look like I can.
And so that one task, you put a time frame on it, and you know that you're going to focus on that task until that time frame expires.
And I'm trying to do it before the thing fills up.
I love it.
Maybe if this thing turns on, but I guess it's just not going to work right now. Anyway,
I love it.
So, okay, so you start to have the time and the willingness to say, hey, I want to be able to do this. I want to commit to it. Makes total sense. What's next?
You mentioned people. It's interesting. That doesn't.
Sorry, I remember why it doesn't work. You have to plug in the phone as well and turn it sideways, and then it will turn into like an alarm mode.
On
thing.
to power it on. Yeah.
All right.
So we talked about people as a potential place to start. This doesn't mean that we have to hire. That the people component of focusing on growth and going out and doing it can be the shop owner, can be them. But they have to know that they have time available to focus on it and do that work. Mm-hmm. So it can be them. You can also hire someone to do it. Mm-hmm. Often I find shops, I talked about this with Steven, trying to move that customer success or account manager into that salesperson. Doesn't work very well. It's not what they like to do. They're not good at it. It's not their focus. They don't enjoy it.
Outbound salesperson or processing?
Correct.
Okay.
Having that
Because they're processing stuff now.
They're taking inbound orders, they're running the process. But
Yeah.
if you do want to grow, there has to be a concentrated effort on like going out and finding more customers and actually going out and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the likelihood of that account manager or customer success person doing that successfully and well is pretty low, unless they really want to do it and they really enjoy the work and they want to transition maybe out of account management into sales. I see that working, but just transitioning someone because they know the business, like not always the right fit.
Okay.
So the beautiful part about hiring a salesperson is you can pretty clearly see payback time and ramp and understand how long is it going to take for me to get this person. If they do this revenue, we can map it out. We can model it out. How long is it going to take for them to pay back the investment that I've made in them? Easier said than done. It's a lot that goes into like recruiting and hiring and selecting the right person and onboarding them effectively and measuring and tracking their effectiveness day in, day out. But the nice part is if you get it right and they're successful, they're not only going to pay themselves back, they're going to propel you to that $1 million mark.
So